just because someone doesn't have that million subscribed doesn't mean that the information that they're providing on their content isn't valuable. And like, that's just something I've learned just watching through your channel through self-sustained training. Like all this stuff that you're talking about with different clients and different people you come on here. It's like, wow, like I relate to this. Throughout my entire life, just looking at myself, I'm like, man, I hate this. I would just lift up my shirt.
Feeling inadequate. Feeling nonstop inadequate from an adolescent age definitely will build that body dysmorphia.
Yeah, and it's funny because you said that you have claimed to have it, right? And it's so funny. That's crazy to even think about, because when I look at you and see the body that you have, I'm like, man, that's what I want. Like that's exactly what I'm trying to work for. But like, of course, there's that genetics and there's that certain, like, some people just can't get it, but they can work their ass off to at least do what they can.
Have you seen pictures of me in high school?
I think I did a while ago, but
yeah, go look at a picture of me in high school, bro. I was skinnier than you, smaller than you.
I can't even imagine that. And that's to go off of what you said right there. When I tell people that I used to be fat, they can't even fathom it. Like, you can even put a picture right here. I can send you a picture, right?
The body I've built to this point right now, let's say, I'm still not content with, because if I was content with it, then I probably would have never built it to this point in the first place, because I would have been content with my body back before it was where it was. And so for me, it's recognizing where I am now and wanting to be better, so that body dysmorphia, let's say, all I'm doing is channeling and air bending the negativity that would otherwise cause me distress and cause me just unnecessary suffering. And I air bend that into optimistic fuel for my next goal to be achieved.
Yeah. And going off of that is also, it's also controlling what you can, accepting what you can. Like when you're tracking macros, going to the gym, life hits, sometimes you don't get all your macros all the way, or you don't hit the gym. And it's just a matter of how you react to it. And now it's just like, okay, I didn't hit the gym, didn't hit the macros. There was a point where I would be so into it that like, if I messed up one little thing, everything was over. It's over. Like macros. Oh no, I can't do it today. But it's just like, okay, you have these days. It's okay. It's just as long as you get back on track.
It's about not being perfect. It's not expecting yourself to be perfect. Again, expecting yourself to be perfect. Key word, expecting yourself to be perfect. You should have zero expectation. Life doesn't owe you anything. You are entitled to the work, not the fruits of your work. You're entitled to the labor, not the fruits of your labor. You should only care about the grind, and whatever comes afterwards, thanks. I wasn't expecting it, but I'm glad I got it. It's no different than you showing up to practice every single day. Thanks for this reward of being a savage. Glad I got it, but I didn't necessarily need it. I was just here for the work, constantly putting in the work. Being able to see it through that lens of doing it for the process, for the journey, rather than for that six-pack, for that end goal.
Yeah, and really just proving yourself that you can do something, like whatever it is, whether it is acting, whether it is lifting, and like all those different aspects of it. It's, like I said, with controlling what you can, being that an actor, I'm still kind of new into the acting game. One thing I could definitely relate to controlling what you can, accepting what you can't. I've had so many conversations with actors about like what their dream show is or what their dream like role would be. And like when the opportunity presents itself, it's like euphoria, like, wow, it's like, and they bust their ass to really make sure they get everything ready for this audition to be able to be considered or even be part of the show. Right. And then when that moment hits and you find out you didn't make the show or you didn't get the character you want, it's so devastating. And it's like
controlling what you can, accepting what you can't. And for you, like you said, with the macros especially, this ties into what you just said. Accepting that you're an imperfect being and the imperfections of what it means to be a human being is one that is reassuring whenever you, let's say, don't hit that macro count specifically, or if you miss the gym that one day, because life happens, things happen. Like you said, it's about how you respond and react to the things that happen in life rather than falling victim to the victim mindset of woe is me, why'd this happen to me.
It's just insane. Just like, going back to that, like I said, it's like, it's insane to like, even hear this again, just like after watching your videos and being like, man, I'm someone that definitely gravitates towards content that's like, oh, if it has 1 million subscribers, it must be doing something right. But
most people like that. They're the numbers, right?
But like with you, like just like, I know your account maybe has like 800, 900.
Getting close to that 1,000 mark.
And it's like, just because someone doesn't have that million subscribed doesn't mean that the information that they're providing on their content isn't valuable. And like, that's just something I've learned just watching through your channel through self-sustained training. Like all this stuff that you're talking about with different clients and different people you come on here. It's like, wow, like I relate to this. And it's like, it just kind of made me think about, okay, like just got to really dive into it and see what this is about. And like, wow, this is like really valuable information that even some of the information will probably be like sold by someone who's like really big and like, oh, this information is going to be for $3,000 or this, blah, 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 blah. I will say self-sustained training, I truly believe will blow up in the near future eventually. Don't know when, I'm not going to say, but I think the content you're putting out, it'll definitely be reached to the masses. It's just a matter of when, not if, but when.
And if it doesn't, I'm happy and content with it helping one person like you, one person like Trey. The multiple messages I get from people every time I post a video, whether it's seen by 100 people or 100,000 people, it being able to cause any sort of positive shift in another person's mind is quite literally all I care about.
Impact. That's one of the things that when I first started actually officially releasing music, the very first song I ever dropped was titled Impact, because I want to make an impact.
Nice, man.
And just being able to, and realizing and understanding that what you're doing or what you're saying, the movements, the things you say, the things you do, they do have an effect on people, whether you realize it or not. And just, as much as I freak out about trying to do everything at once, when I'm in the gym, I'd be thinking about outside shit, and I'm like, nope, got to bring it back in.
It's like you got work at 6, and it's like, oh man, I don't want to do nothing all day because I have work at 6, and you are so focused and worried about the angst of the future, this anticipatory angst of something that hasn't even happened. You're allowing that to corrupt the current state that you're in. And like you said, if you're at the gym, you should be focusing on the gym. And then once you're done with the gym, focus on whatever's next. Compartmentalizing your productivity so you can be more efficient in your actions in the present moment. If you are harboring anticipatory angst for something in the future, even if it's 5%, that's 5% energy that's focused on some shit that hasn't even happened. And now you only have 95% of reservoired attention that you can focus on this action. So if you can learn, like you said, to compartmentalize that anticipatory angst and hone in all your focus and attention now on the current activity, on the current task at hand, you'll be surprised at how efficient and how much better you get at generally everything in your life, one step, one action at a time.
And just going for it, as scary as it sounds, and scary to even think of doing whatever it is you want to do in life, it's just going for it and not looking back, because who the hell wants to be on their deathbed at 70, 80, 90, 100 years old being like, man, I wish I would have done this. And like, even now I'm even thinking about that at 24, and I'm like, man, I feel old. Like, I feel old in the game. Like, shit.
I can't wait to be old. I can't wait to have gray hair. I can't wait. Because the problem is, a lot of our life experiences are corrupted by the ignorance and arrogance of our youth. And I think only through life experience can you really become as wise as you're worthy of, in terms of being able to have your words have worth. And the worth of your words quite literally are just premised on the integrity of those words, which again are premised on the actions and experience you faced up to that point to put the weight on those words. And you've said it before, people who have tried to preach some shit but may not be embodying and personifying the principles that they're preaching. So it's up to you to find people who may actually be living those actions, living those principles, to where the wisdom reveals itself just through the leading by example.
Yeah,
so
I could definitely sound more leading by example. I'm not that person to really talk like the bark, go crazy. Like, I'm gonna do this, I'll do that. Like, I've done it, but like
silence. Real G's move in silence. You know what I mean?